Hello, accountability buddies. I'm Les, and this is another episode of Less is More Healthy. Coming to you from a ride here on the weekend. Really just having a good time today. And I have been recording a couple of episodes here about things that have made a huge difference in my health and fitness and feeling strong this particular summer. Um, and one of those things is consistency. Consistency has been key. Um, I set out 2 years ago to exercise or do something physically active 4 days a week. That was the goal that I had starting last year. And I have to say, for the most part, I've been really good about doing something physically active 4 days a week. It's not always riding my bike. Sometimes it's going for a walk. Sometimes it's hiking. Sometimes it's doing something in my yard, physically active. Sometimes it's picking up the weights. More often than not, especially during the summer, it is riding my bike. 4 days a week, I try to do that. And I think I've made some of the most progress this summer when I've been able to do those longer rides 4 days a week. Um, the last couple of weeks where I've been riding my bike to work, I have just noticed my blood sugars are just so much more level. I really wish that um, I could commute by bike year round. It's just not feasible here in Massachusetts and where I live. Largely because it's too dangerous for me to ride my bike on the road at night. Um, I have a couple of pretty dangerous intersections so I get out of work at 6 p.m. and I could theoretically ride my bike to the train, lock it up, or take my bike on the train, but I can't do that because during rush hour, the MBTA does not allow bikes on the train. So I was actually rejected from getting on the train a couple of weeks ago because it was rush hour, so no bike. Um, that sucked. So I can't really. I would have to like get to work at like 7 in the morning, and that's I can't. That's not realistic. Um, and then I don't get out of work until 6 p.m. And starting here pretty soon, it's going to be dark. And there's an intersection that is super dangerous on my way home. And then going over the bridge is also very dangerous, even with the lights that I have on my bike. Like I've got a super bright Magic Shine front headlight. I've got rear tail lights, and I just don't feel safe doing that. But anyway, going back to consistency. Consistency for me is key in making this happen. So, like, being physically active at least 4 days a week is important. Um, and I think that has been really what has changed things for me. So, being able to get out on the bike or walking, moving 4 days a week has made a difference. Um, and making time for that. That's been like the hardest part, I think, as someone who is Gen X and who's brought up to put work first. It was interesting. I had a conversation with my mom the last time I was visiting, and I had accidentally she had invited me to do a thing with her coming up here soon, and I made plans to do it. I'd actually taken the day before off work so that I could get up near where she lives and do this thing. And then I accidentally double booked myself and ended up having to cancel on my mom. And she's like, "No, I get it. Work is a priority." I was like, "No, family is my priority." And that's something that has drastically changed for me in the last like 10 years. So I think that might actually be a whole other video, but I worked for a big company big corporate place, and it did not end well with them. They didn't fire me, but they tried to when I decided, you know, 10 years of service with them. And when I decided I wanted to go to grad school, um, they tried to do everything they could to fire me, rather than let me leave on my own. And they were trying to fire me for cause, with a whole lot of like bullshit reasons. Um, because I had tried to leave on a good note with them. Anyway, that's all beside the point. It's water under the bridge at this point. But it made me really realize that the corporations that you work for don't really care. Um, I had trained my replacement. There was lots of stuff going on with that, and it just made me really realize that I was just a cog in the machine to them. And then after I went to grad school and I graduated, I worked for another big company. And again, cog in the machine. Um, the corporations don't care about you. And that became very, very apparent through working for these big companies. Um, I would say that most companies, you're a cog in the machine, and eventually you'll be replaced. Um, and it made me really rethink that old Gen X idea of focusing on the company and work being a priority. I mean, yeah, I like what I do, I love my job, but my real priority is my family, my friends, my chosen family, and all of that, and not the company. And I think that that is a massive mind shift that has drastically changed how I feel about myself and work and all of that. Um, and that mind shift has led me to feel like I can actually take time off to take care of myself. I'm not willing to go into work if I'm sick. I need to take that day off so that number one, I don't get other people sick, but also so that I get better faster. There's so many times when I was working for the giant mega international corporation where I went in sick, and I would be sick for a week and a half because I was taking Dayquil just so I could like be awake and work for them. And in the long run, it didn't actually better me. And I think it, in fact, worsened my health, was hugely detrimental to my well being. And I think my mom was really shocked when I was like, no, this was a mistake, and you're actually the priority, not work. I made a mistake, and if I hadn't made the mistake, I would be there. And I had actually intended to be there. And so, yeah, having that mind shift in terms of like consistency, making time for my own health and well being, and realizing that, yeah, work is important, but it's not my priority in life. I'm not prioritizing my work over my family anymore. I'm not prioritizing my work over my health and well being. So I am actually setting huge boundaries around work. Um, I've mentioned some of this on Threads. If you're on Threads, check it out. But like, basically, like next summer, I'm definitely planning on taking most of August off again. But also, like, those half day Fridays, I'm going to take a lot of those off, and I'm going to do some bike packing. I'm going to do some prioritizing of my hobbies and the things I enjoy so that I can prioritize my health even more. And that is a huge shift in my mental state. Um, and I think it actually reflects out in my work with the kids and makes my work better. So there's some other things that I can't talk about online yet about shifts that I want to make in terms of my mental state in terms of health and prioritizing myself over my workplace, and things that I can't really do while I'm working for someone else. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? Um, but yeah, like that. That's anyway. Thinking about that sort of thing and altering my life for the better. This whole journey that I've been on has been eye opening and really allowing me to see things in a whole other way. Um, yeah, really, really thinking about that kind of thing. So anyway, I'm gonna leave this here and probably record another episode here soon. Um, Thank you for being here. Thank you for the support and all of that fun stuff. I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.